What is our next email today?
Next up is from Arjun. I was wondering if Rotten Tomatoes can team up with Fandango and other similar sites so that the user reviews are collected directly from the people who have bought tickets for the movie. So like Uber does, the user will get a pop-up after the particular showing is done, and they can just select their score and maybe leave a review too. This way, for sure, even every review came with a ticket purchase, and I would assume it's going to increase reviews received as well. Thanks.
Rob, you and I were talking the other day about, Rotten Tomatoes has announced they're looking at ways to legitimize their user reviews, because their user reviews are a mess. I mean, they can be gamed. We've seen it happen over and over again. Tons of people register, scores for movies they've never even watched because of a political agenda they have and blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. So you and I talked yesterday about some ideas. I had the idea, it's an extreme one, but hey, if you want to register a score under the user reviews, you have to put up a picture of you first holding your ID and holding your movie ticket, or something along those lines. What was your idea, Rob, that you had pitched to you? I remember I really liked the idea you had.
Well, I was saying charge a membership fee,
right?
And you have to pay money and then you become a reviewer. I mean, sure, you could still assuming you could game the system, but you'd have to pay money to do so. And then, you let other reviewers, like on Amazon, was this review helpful? And other people can upvote it or downvote it. I mean, I think that would help. That might help. Or my friend Mike Bodden suggested a barcode system or something where you have people that actually are given an ID and they're held accountable. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, considering Rotten Tomatoes is owned by a company, and why shouldn't people be held accountable? People on the internet have to start being, it's a public space and people need to be held accountable.
Well, here's the interesting thing. What a bunch of people then wrote on the show yesterday, and we covered this in my companion video that went up earlier this morning. A lot of people started firing the suggestion, and I think this is the best suggestion I've heard so far. And that suggestion was, well, Rotten Tomatoes is now owned by Fandango. So Fandango is a movie ticket purchasing app. Why not just have the user reviews score on Rotten Tomatoes be a score registered by people on Fandango who actually bought tickets?
I think that's a great idea.
It's a brilliant idea. Does that limit it a little bit to people who use Fandango? Sure. Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, the idea is you use your phone, I buy my ticket, and then once the date has passed for my movie ticket, it can now do a little pop-up. What did you think about I don't know what movie's out there right now. What am I forgetting? I can't even think of a movie.
Captain Marvel.
Sure. What did you think of? So if you bought a ticket, once the date of your ticket passes, a little pop-up will come up on your Fandango app saying, "Hey, what did you think of Captain Marvel?" And you give it a score, and that gets aggregated over to the Rotten Tomatoes for user reviews.
Love it.
People who actually saw, because you know what? Amazon has a little bit something like this. Amazon, you can go onto Amazon and write reviews for things, right? But Amazon has an extra little thing on there now under the user reviews. It says verified purchase.
Yep.
Which means if you actually, so you can't just jump on and, you can just jump on and write, "I hate this golf ball," even though you've never actually owned the golf ball. But if you've bought the golf ball on Amazon, it will put under that verified purchase, this guy actually bought this, and you can trust the review. I think this is the perfect solution to this. I think it's perfect. The one downside is that it does limit a little bit who's doing it, because it's only going to be limited to people who use Fandango. I don't use Fandango all that often because I usually just use my AMC app. And so that's fine. So I personally, for some movies, won't be able to register a user review. Oh, well, big deal, not a big deal. But a lot of people use Fandango, and they'll be completely impartial. They're just average film fans using their thing, but at least these user reviews you're going to be seeing and the score you're going to be seeing are coming from people who actually bought tickets and actually went to the movie. And I see that as nothing but a good thing. Do you see any other potential? Like, the one drawback I'm coming up with is that it limits how many people could actually participate in it. But do you see any other drawbacks to that, Rob?
No, and I look, I thought it was great that you brought up the idea of the verified purchase from Amazon. I as soon as I read, because I do read product reviews on Amazon, and I ignore anyone who's not a verified purchaser, because what do they know anyway? And why are they reviewing a product that that they haven't recently purchased? So I think what you're saying is tremendous. I think it's absolutely an elegant idea, and it makes sure that the public knows that, okay, the people from now on that are reviewing have actually seen the movie in question, and it alleviates the problem they're having of people going on before a movie comes out and trashing it just to do so.
And I like the fact that they brought up in there the whole Uber app too. Like this, it's a good comparison.
Yeah.
Uber, once you've taken your ride, I can't just jump on Uber and go, well, I know this guy, Ted, and I hate that guy's guts, and I know he's an Uber driver now. I'm just going to find him on my Uber app and give him negative reviews because I hate that guy. No. Once you've used Ted as a driver, once you've had a ride with Ted, then it gives you the option to rate and review Ted as a driver. I love that. Ashley,
I do too.
Do you have, first of all, what do you think about applying like an Uber or an Amazon kind of model, something like this? And do you ever use things like Atom tickets, Fandango, things like that to buy your tickets? Is that something that would affect you very much?
I use Fandango every time I'm looking up where the closest movie is to my house. So I am constantly on Fandango. I've occasionally bought tickets through Fandango, and now I did MoviePass for a little bit. Now that I don't have that, I think I've bought maybe 1 or 2 tickets through Fandango. But I usually buy my tickets. I just walk up to the theater and get them on the spot. But I think it's a great idea. I want this to be, I want to tweet this out and make them do it. It's perfect. It's really a great partnership.
And it would be great for Fandango, right? Because it might actually encourage some people to use Fandango to buy their movie tickets if they want to participate and become a standard reviewer on that. I just don't see the lose here other than the fact that it limits those who can use it, but you can use it if you want, and it just ensures, like, who doesn't? I'd be very suspect of anybody who says, I don't want user reviews to verify that their people actually saw the movie.
Yeah.
Like, why not? So there's somebody with an agenda there.